What are your thoughts on this rematch? Do you want to see it, or is it just...
No, not at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that makes me wrong. Just I have no interest in it at all. I was a big Canelo guy. I was for years. I just liked the kid. But my respect level in the things he's doing, his arrogance. I don't know. I tweeted out yesterday. I said when Mayweather passed the torch, his arrogance and his fucking diva persona went along with it. It's just unbelievable.
Mhm.
Now, can I tell you something I heard? I ran into somebody who knows people and knows people good, where it's in tight with some people over Golden Boy. And I can tell you what I heard, that first off, there's the two people who run Canelo, right? The father and the son. The father's a good dude. I guess Eric gets along with him. Oscar gets along with him. The son is supposed to be a fucking moron and a cocky prick. But this way, I can't say that because then, I don't, you know what I mean? It'd be like if one of you guys told me something and I was asked not to say
right,
so.
right. Yeah.
But somebody in the media, put it this way, somebody in the media, you guys know, and is even keel and gets along with everybody, can't stand this dude. That's how much of a prick he is. I'm sure it'll all come out. But Canelo's in a situation, put yourself in Oscar's position, right? You got a handful of prospects, some decent looking ones, Jojo Diaz. I don't know. I think if he had a little more bang, he could be, but Canelo is the only dude who's keeping the lights on at Golden Boy, and it's fucking keeping Oscar and, the fucking nice cars and whatever party favors he wants to buy, So they got a cowtail to this kid. And I'm telling you right now, from what I've heard, Eric Gomes is not happy with. Remember about 2 weeks ago, Eric tweeted out something about his surgery, and Canelo didn't respond with, "Oh, there was a miscommunication." He straight out said, "Yeah, I don't know why this," and he just basically degraded fucking Eric Gomes, the president of Golden Boy, saying, "I don't know where they get this information, but that's not how it went down." So you can tell that there's not discourse, but they're not tight. And from what I was told. Again, and it seems to be playing out, especially after seeing what he pulled with that bullshit of bad-mouthing Eric in the fucking social media. He's got them by the short and curlies. He's the one who's running that show. Really, what can he say? And I heard they're scared shit that he's going to leave. Now the fact that fucking, think about it. Eddie Hearn's running around with $1 billion. Hey! Come on, fucking, that wouldn't be a fucking snag. Grabbing Canelo, who I think his contract is up in a year? I don't think he has many more fights left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody might know more about that than I. But because of that, now if you're Golden Boy, you lose Canelo. What do you got? King Ryan? That fucking lunatic? You know what I mean? That kid's a knockout waiting to happen. And can I tell you what I was told about him too? This is what I was told about him. Doesn't listen to anybody. Like they bring people into his camp. The first time they say bop bop bop, he says fuck you. The father bounces him. He doesn't listen to anybody, and he definitely pays more attention to his fucking Instagram account than he does his technique. Lost.
Like Chris Eubank Jr.
Then lost, and that kid coming. He went the distance with that kid. Who's come on? They brought that kid in to get fucking beat up, and lost. The minute that anybody comes in. That, inside his space, he's done. He can't fight on the inside. He doesn't know how to fucking throw in an angle. And he drops his right hand and leaves his... Tank Davis would get decapitated. The fuck is he thinking?
By the way, we didn't talk about Ryan Garcia. I would like to talk about him at some point, get you guys' opinion on how he looked and what his potential is. But getting back to the Triple G versus Canelo thing, it's interesting what Jimmy just said about how technically he's running the show over there. But now we were talking about the positive test. They didn't ring any bells for anybody else. How this guy has a lot of money. I'm talking about Canelo. A lot of money. He has the money to buy the best stuff on the market, and he gets popped through a urine test, not a blood test, a urine test. That's what I heard. I heard it was a urine test. I don't know what you guys heard, but that seems fishy
it's
to
urine.
me, man.
It wouldn't be blood. They wouldn't be drawing blood. It was urine. Those VADA tests, when they come and they show up at your house, they piss you.
that's what I'm saying is because we were talking about here. The guys were talking about the conspiracy that maybe Canelo wanted to get caught so that he could delay the rematch or maybe get more time to cycle or something. And I'm thinking
The thing is, though, bro, you don't put a fucking stone of muscle on by eating a steak in Mexico.
exactly.
This fucking guy has been on serious drugs. Look at the muscle he was putting on. He knew that he was not strong enough in the first fight. He got lucky with the decision. He's a very good fight, Canelo, and Golovkin's hardest fight without a shadow of a doubt.
Mhm.
And he was, he was a very good fighter in there, but he just weren't good enough, weren't strong enough, weren't big enough. He knew that. So in the second fight, he was piling on pounds and pounds of muscle, and when you take that steroids, then you're going to get caught.
I think that Oscar De La Hoya and his whole team surrounding Canelo, I think that they have done everything in his favor that they could do, and that draw card, that Adelaide Bird card, was the last resort, and it generated the most
Absolutely.
controversy.
That's a good point, Pavel. It's
Yeah.
like that was
all
their
the steroids, all the casting, all the other bullshit. It was, the first option, and
well. There, I mean, yeah, it's
It's like a street fight. It's like a street fight, right? You give the guy, all the advantages on his side, his neighborhood. He has the crowd with him. So the other guy feels a little intimidated if he starts whipping his ass, and he still can't pull it off.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that score, 118. What did you score? 118, 110 for Canelo? Isn't that what Bird scored it for? Is it? I mean, that's
10 rounds
fucked.
to 2.
That's criminal, right? That's fucking straight up.
The Floyd Mayweather one weren't as well. Someone had, I can't remember who it was, had Canelo beat Floyd Mayweather. I mean, let that sink in for a minute.
No, it was one
draw card.
One judge had it a draw.
A draw, sorry, it's a draw.
The
But a
other
draw,
two-
giving Canelo a draw is like giving him the victory. It was that bad.
Same thing with the draw versus Triple G.
It was the same judge, as far as I remember.
C.J. Ross, actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, another lady. It's like, I don't know if they're like using these women to just kind of say, oh, oops, she's a girl. She doesn't know anything about boxing.
That's exactly what that is.
Perfect excuse.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I think these females, they see a bit of sweat flying in the air, and they're pressing their button, aren't they? They're just, let's keep it real, clueless.
All right, can I ask you guys a question? Obviously, you're so vested into boxing. Somebody brought this up, and he was explaining how he would do it, and I'm like, why wouldn't they, take maybe a couple of small regional cards somewhere and try this? Take the judges, right? Judges, unfortunately, are human, right? And what happens? You cannot not get affected by like Andre Ward. Every time he threw a jab, his fucking people screamed. Judges get affected by the energy of the crowd. There's no doubt about it. It's home cooking's all about. Now, if you had the judges not even at the ring, but in a booth somewhere where they can, sound it off, where they don't hear nothing, but they have video monitors. Where I'm telling you right now, if you ever watch them at the fights, leaning around the ropes, trying to get around the ref, they miss so much shit. People at home have a better view.
That's a fucking great point. That's a fucking great point right there, Jimmy just said.
People at home have a better view. I'm telling you right now, the TV and the monitors and the HD, we can see the fucking count the hairs on these dudes' face. Now, NHL, everybody's doing instant replay. So if you had the judges in the stadium, but stay off behind everything in these crazy, they can sit there and just, even they have somebody, an assistant next to them, rewind this. At the end of the round, that minute while they're resting, if they want to go back and check to see something, was that a knockdown? To at least clean it up, because then there's no excuse. Then they have, I missed it. How'd you miss it? You have a fucking replay. It's just, why not test it? I'm not saying change it overnight, because this is, nothing changes in this sport overnight, but it's archaic. You get referees who don't stand still, getting in the way, and these guys, you can watch the fight. Sometimes if the fight sucks, I'll watch and they're leaning around trying to catch views. I'm like, really? Because I'm sitting here with my fucking chair smoking a fatty. I'm having no problem watching this.
There's no better way to score a fight than from a live broadcast TV view. We as fight fans, we see the best view of anyone in that arena.
Especially with no commentary.
spot on, bro. Half the time, the ropes are blocking things. The fighters' backs are to you, so you can't see the shots landing. The referee's in the way.
The
It's
crowd
very, very hard.
changes the sound, and that affects everything.
Like you said, you hear the crowd screaming because there's a glancing blow. You know,
Exactly.
I agree, Stu. I agree, but the problem with that is that you're giving the guys in the truck, so to speak, a lot of control here because they could start playing with camera angles and start showing you, let's say, the B sides, the A side's back versus the A side's face, right? Let's say if they even only do that 75% of the time, you're not going to be able to see as well the punches landed on the A side, and you're going to have.
I don't see that happening.
Well, now I was thinking too.
I was thinking first.
If broadcasters are charging you big money, right, they're going to give you the best view, the best shots. Broadcasters not in it to say Kovalev would, show us fucking Andre Ward's back so we can't see the punches landed. It don't really work like that, bro. You know, as a fight fan, you could say as a fight fan that you haven't seen that happen on a broadcast live.
I have actually. I've noticed a few instances where I feel like I'm seeing this guy's back more than the other guy's back, and you, dude. Look, I have a background in photography, and there's a lot of things you can do with angles and cameras to basically make things look a little bit more in favor of somebody else. I mean,
you don't allow them to do that, bro. You can't. You've got to watch it live. Give the score at the end of the round. There's no fucking replays here where you can check things out. Just do it as we see it live, and you're going to get better results.
I think you're giving boxing too much credit, bro. Yeah.
There's no incentives in getting it right. There's no incentives in getting it 100% right.
Because there's no.
You want to say something?
Yeah, well, I was obviously Precise makes a good point. Like the NHL and most of those places, they don't just even the NFL, the referees, when they look under the hood, right? They're not looking just at what we see. There's certain cameras that we don't see that the officials see. Like in the NHL, they have a bunch of cameras set up. If you had a camera angle directly above encompassed the whole ring, so that would be in there. Like I'd have 3 TVs that way. They have an oval, they could look down at it. They could have maybe even just situated one camera that never changes angles, just overlooks. They'd have to work the bugs out. Obviously, be one of those things. I just think it's not working. I mean, how much of a fucking sample size do we need? I mean, I've been following this fucking sport for a decade before a lot of you guys were even born, and this is the same conversation that's been going on forever.
Because they want it this way. They want it to be this way.
Exactly.
There's no incentives in changing, getting it 100% right. You can't fix how the odds that way. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't do when you start getting it 100% right.
Well, it was a lot better. I'll tell you right now.
Other sports have to do that. They have to do that. Like other team sports and, for the most part, some single sports, right? Whereas an individual, it's tennis or any other.
If they got it right, Floyd Mayweather would have had arguably 2 losses, let's say, on his record, and that's millions of dollars lost in revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
do you think we should start getting some of these ex-fighters in to score some of these fights? When you look at these judges, they're all fat slobs that have never been in a fight in their lives. I don't know how they got there. They don't even know how they got there. I mean, let's be real. Let's get some proper guys that know what a fight's about. Do you know what I mean? Look at the state of the judges.
Stu, incompetence, in my opinion, incompetence only really accounts for maybe 5% of errors. Because when you look at these guys, these judges' records on BoxRec, and you look at how they score some minor fight that nobody gives a fuck that you have a chance to see, they get it right. They always get the shit right. It's only when it comes to these big fights where they start fucking up. These people are competent. They're corrupt.
Can I bring up one point?
Adelaide Bird, she might as well just sell herself down the back alley, mate, because that's what she's doing.
Go ahead, 3-piece.
Shit, what was I going to say now? What Stu said, brilliant point. In fact, the NHL just they're putting on a huge thing right now where they're trying to hire a full court press. They're trying to catch guys early in their career. They're upping their incentives. They're giving them more money. And they're actually meeting with guys who are after a couple of years in the minors, and they're not going to make it to the show. And they're approaching them and saying, listen, we need guys like you. We need more guys who play the game, who understand the nuances and the subtleties and what's really going on. Like Adelaide Bird doesn't know fucking dick. The fuck does she know about boxing? And if you guys ever seen what you have to do to fucking become a judge, you have to show up. You know what I mean? You have to fucking pay a $10 fee at the amateur level. I don't even think you're able to be fucking vetted anymore. It's ridiculous. And then you just who you know, and you bump your way up the line. You know,
Yeah,
and her husband.
I know Harold Jarrett. I know Harold Jarrett has been a judge at fights, and this guy's just a YouTube channel. Just turned up at an event, and they've let him judge a fight. So everyone's dropped off.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Like, look,
I'm
I don't
back.
disagree. Adelaide Bird doesn't know shit about boxing, but that's precisely why she's being allowed to judge. So you guys are talking about putting a Band-Aid instead of getting rid of the root problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And can I bring up one point? Forget about the judges. Look at the referees. For example, Kenny Bayless, he was officiating fight Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Celestino Maidana. And the guy basically, I mean, he was horrible in that fight. And when I see the same Kenny Bayless officiating a fight in Europe, it's a night and day difference. The guy's actually enforcing the rules, so he's actually a very good referee. It's just the money.
I mean, Joe Cortez, another one. I keep hearing the Hall of Famer, one of the great refs of all time, Joe Cortez. I fucking hate that guy, man.
Oh, he's a jerk.
This guy was a fucking paid puppet. Look at the Mayweather hat and how he reffed that fight. And people are telling me that guy's the best, one of the best of all time. Get the fuck out of it. Mills Lane's the best ref of all time.
So, okay, is it working?
Hello?
Oh,
Was it?
are you guys there or what?
Steve's just finished. Someone else is just waiting.
I could do a better job than most of these refs, and I don't have any fucking experience, but I could do a better job than some of these guys. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's not that hard.
The ref in the Kovalev Ward 2 fight, can't remember because it's late now. My mind's gone blank. I'm tired. But he was absolutely dreadful. It's probably the worst referee performance I've ever seen in a boxing ring.
Second worst. The first fight was even worse, bro. The first fight was worse.
And that includes the ref that let Emil Griffiths kill a guy in the ring by letting Emil Griffiths hit him about 30 times unanswered. And I think that was a worse performance than that. So, dreadful.
Somebody explained to me how, was it Tony Weeks, I think it was in the first Kovalev Ward fight. Someone explained to me how he allows Andre Ward to grab both of Kovalev's thighs and try to bring him down to the ground like 3 or 4 times in that second round. How do you allow a guy to do that? How did he allow Andre Ward to low blow him 6 fucking times in a row, hit him on the kidneys? You know what I mean? Like how do you even allow that type of shit? He knees him in the fucking face when Kovalev goes down in like the 9th round or something. Andre Ward just walks and knees him in the fucking face and breaks his nose or makes his nose bleed.
Yeah, he was burning at first.
I fucking can't stand Andre Ward.
What about what he did to Kessler? Man?
Oh, God.
The guy didn't even get warned once. I mean, it was like the guy was flying in with fucking Superman headbutts, and nothing was said. Kessler was getting warned for holding, I think. That's why I don't like this sport.
Yeah, that's why I turned to UFC. But they ain't much better either, at times.
Obviously, I do love this sport, but it just makes me sick to my stomach.
Am I silent right now?
No, we can hear you, bro.
No.
Oh, you can hear. I guess I didn't hit that right. So I guess I dropped off.
What's your opinion of Andre Ward, bro? We're just talking about Andre Ward. What's your opinion on him?
Very, very, very cerebral fighter. Very intelligent kid. Very smart kid. Bitter. I think that killed him. His father dying young, losing his father got him angry. I think that's where a lot of his bitterness comes from.
He's got your Irish blood, isn't he? He's got your Irish blood. He's got Irish blood, isn't he? Andre Ward.
And he's fucking, you can see it in him. He's angry. And the fact that, like, and I really realized it when he went to water, when they brought up his father, and it took him about 2 seconds. The fact that he would bring tears to his eye within seconds, that's deep. That's obviously a fresh wound for him. So and I think he finds a way to win. He's smart. He knew to go to Kovalev's body, and I'm telling you right now, there's nobody going to tell me that, but it's all come out in the wash now. John right? They didn't like each other. There's no gray area there. And he was on the phone. You can't tell me that fucking Ward didn't go into that fight, didn't know that Jackson, wasn't telling him, hey, listen, this kid didn't do his fucking road work. Go to the body. Because Jackson straight up doesn't like him. You don't think it made him feel happy seeing him get bodied? So my personal opinion, I think fucking Ward had inside info. But he is very cerebral. Not my cup of tea. I just never, that his whole style of, hugging and fucking punching, yeah, not for me. But I'll give him that.
Jimmy,
Yes.
you the man, sir, but fuck Andre Ward.
I'm trying to be, you know what I mean?
All
I
right.
just, I'm trying to be, I don't think listen, I'm one of those people who don't think he belongs in the hall. When I hear people put him in the hall, that freaks me out. I'm like, really? For what? Going 1-1 with Kovalev? And taking out an emaciated fucking Dawson? I mean, really? Okay, Fox was a good win. But again, you had every conceivable fucking thing in your favor. Travel. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's such a diva. Taking the fucking Joe Goose in the court. When you sign a contract and then no, I want more. And then HBO wasting years of our fucking lives, them shoving him down our throats.
He pulled out
130.
Pulled out of a Cole Froch fight, right, with Andre Ward. Right, when Cole Froch, his girlfriend was pregnant, so he had Cole Froch come out basically in America training for this fight. Pulled out. Cole Froch had to go back, then come back again for another training camp. And Froch went months without seeing like his missus who's pregnant, and I think it affected his performance. I'm not saying he would have won.
It does.
But that would have
absolutely. Fighting's a mental game. That shit has a huge effect on these guys. If you're not mentally in it, dude, it's a hard game to fucking be good at.
Ward knew what he was doing. He wasn't injured or anything. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of people who renege on contracts. I just think that's shady. You're a grown ass man. You signed your fucking thing. Be a man of your word.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, regardless.
I think that Kovalev 2 fight, right, has hurt his legacy more than anything. I haven't seen a good word said about this guy since that fight. And he's sitting there claiming victory like he's the king. He's the king of the throne. But deep down, he's butthurt.
He used to always talk about.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, he used to always talk about, one of his things was, if I ever got a bogus decision, I'd fucking. He used to always say that. If I ever got an ugly decision, something went my way and I didn't think I deserved it, I would step up. Listen, dude, there's no ifs, ands, or. You want to know who gave the best look of who lost that fight? Anytime somebody wants to say who lost that fight, have them watch the fucking fight again. Just watch the end. Watch his expression. He thought he knew he lost that fight. And that's why when they said his name, he was shocked. He went from fuck to wow. And then for him to stand there, I knew I won that fight. You lying motherfucker. Son of God, my balls.
And guys, what's up with Andre Ward affiliating himself with people like Jay Prince? Like, I'm not from America and I don't know really the inside info, but what's up with those people?
They're
I heard he's a shady cat.
I don't even know who that is.
Apparently, he fought Kovalev. That's the story I heard. He fought Kovalev in the second.
I heard he's a bad dude. I heard he's one of those people, like a lot of people that just fucking poses. I heard Prince runs deep. I heard he's, you know what I mean? If there's one dude in the game who'll fucking put you in a hole in the desert, he's one of the guys who knows the people. You know what I mean?
Well, can I say something about that? Because I tried to do a little research on James Prince, because I'd heard through the grapevine, throughout the years, I'd heard, like Jimmy said, this guy's a bad dude. And I remember that he used to be with Mayweather, he used to be with Ward, and I think he used to be affiliated with James Estonia as well. Well, we've talked about it before in the show, but he's the one that allegedly sent a bunch of goons over to the Mayweather gym when Mayweather wanted to separate from him, and apparently they roughed up some of the...
No, he did.
But is that a fact?
Apparently, Floyd as well.
All right, so anyway, apparently it's James Prince. That's the James Prince. He's the one that sent the goons over to the Mayweather gym. And apparently, according to the story, Mayweather went to Bob Arum, who was his promoter at the time, and apparently Mayweather was terrified, and he said, listen, James Prince won't leave me alone unless I give him, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. And Bob Arum said, well, I'll write him a letter of credit. And Mayweather just said, James Prince don't accept no letter of credit. In other words, this guy just gave him cash or something else, like real quick. And James Prince, apparently, he's from the south of the United States. And the FBI, a couple of years ago in the mid-2000s, they tried to catch him on something, but he slipped from their grasp. So this guy's pretty high up there. Either he's innocent or, like the rumors say, this guy's a dangerous man.
Hey, when there's enough smoke, right? There's that much smoke, there's fire. I mean, you've heard it. I've heard it. You know, I live in Boston. You live in Montreal. So if we hear it here, I mean, he was described to me as the Suge Knight of boxing. So I mean, you know, that guy isn't exactly a fucking nice dude.
You runs
so.
deep, man. You runs deep.
Thanks
You know
for
who else?
The
You know
thing
who-
is, in the boxing game, there's a lot of bad boys around, and you can soon fucking meet your match.
Well, I'll tell you right now, when the mob
Be
ran this
careful what
shit,
you say.
when the mob ran this shit, it was a lot better. I'm telling you, when I was a kid in the 70s, they didn't have these discrepancies because Adelaide Bird would have been some two fucking dudes with their nose smashed all over their face and nice suits would have been waiting to talk to her in the fucking dressing room. You know what I mean? There was too much money. When the mob ran it, yes, there was fixed fights, but the mob, because of their greed, they put on the best fights because what generates the most bets? The biggest fights, generate the biggest bets. And that was the mob. The mob knew that. That was their action. That was their lifeblood, was gambling. And in the fucking 1930s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, they made a killing. But the judges knew, listen, unless the judges were told, make it dirty, if they weren't told to make it dirty, they were going to do their best to do it right because they didn't have to worry about like being people shitting on them on Twitter. They'd have to worry about getting capped. You know, fucking these bad stuff. Yes.
Jimmy, what's your thoughts on the mafia, the mob, and Sonny Liston? Do you think they killed Sonny Liston?
I don't know enough about that dude. I don't know. I just know that I heard that he was into a lot of money to him. That's what I heard. That's the only thing I ever heard. The old timers talk about it, like old timers who actually.
He died suspicious. He died suspicious. Let's just say that. Yeah.
And I heard he owed a lot of people money the way right now Rigondeaux does. And didn't Rigondeaux just say no to the WBC or the WBS? He turned that down?
Yeah, because of weight issues. Yeah. And by the way,
class?
Sorry, but I just have to correct something. It wasn't the FBI that was looking into him, into James Prince. Apparently, it was the DEA. But anyway,
there you go.
But
well, you guys know, I gotta get in on this Rigondeaux shit, man. Just for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys know how much I love the guy. What I've been trying to tell people for years now is that the guy ducks and dodges fights, and or he's not no bantamweight. All right, so something's got to give over here because people are saying that he's the most feared man in boxing, and he's a tiny man. Something's got to give in this situation. Him ducking the WBSS, obviously. One of these theories got to get trashed. At least one, if not both.
Right. I mean, the whole thing was he was too little. 130 was ridiculous. That's the only reason why he lost. He got dragged all the way up to 130. But yet now they're saying it would kill him to make 118. So you know what I mean? What is it?
He took the fight. I didn't want to see the fight. The LDBC and the rest of the people wanted to see it.
I didn't want to see it either.
Let's not forget here. He had a chance to fight Lomachenko at 126 for more money and turned it down. So
yep. He will be even more drained. It will be in a fair fight.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have been no different. The outcome probably would have been worse.
But it would have been more fair on paper.
Yeah, exactly. You would have got less people bashing it.
Let's be real, right? Weight is not going to give Rigondeaux a better heart, a better courage.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like Vance, I got to give the kid credit, man. I thought honestly he was going to go in there and fucking. What did I see on Twitter last night? Somebody said backfoot boogeyman. I think was that you, Bucho? Backfoot boogeyman. I fucking almost pissed myself laughing. But no, that's you know what I mean. But fucking, I thought Vans was going to fight like that against G, but he actually stood in there like he was going to try to put him out. So fucking, but yeah, I guess Triple G ain't that old after all. Because I know everybody's shining this over like it's no big thing. He's been out of the ring for 2 years. That don't fucking make him have a weak chin. This dude was never hurt. And I can tell you right now, My guy I follow on Twitter, I can say this because Mike Brown, right? He was out there at the fight. He was with Dougie and Steve after the fight in the hotel, and Mans Martirosyan came in at 1:00, and I guess the first thing he said, Steve was the one to ask him. Kim says, "So what is it? How does he hit?" And right up, he said, "Dude, I've never ever been hit so hard in my life." He said, "Yeah, I try to mentally prepare myself for it, but he said I just wasn't there." He said when he first hit me, and that uppercut, he said that uppercut was it. Once that uppercut, that was the punch. He said, he goes, "Oh, that uppercut, I was done." Once that uppercut landed, he said, "I don't think I saw straight again until I hit the shower."
What about that
Yeah.
layoff, Jimmy? Because the first thing that's going to be affected, if you are indeed affected coming off a layoff, and that doesn't necessarily happen, especially when you're in your prime, like Martirosyan. Timing. But if you look at that first round, Martirosyan had the beat on Triple G and was countering him with the right hand. So his timing was on point. If you're able to land flush on Golovkin in the first round, your timing is A-okay. It wasn't the fact that he was off for however long he was off for. It's the fact that Triple G just wasn't playing the fuck around, man. He was just in there to take his head off.
You could see it in his face coming in. I've never seen him in a ring walk so just pissed. He looked almost pissed when he came into the ring. You know what I mean?
His timing looked good, man. Maybe he would have tired if the fight went 10 rounds and we would have said, okay, well, he was off for 2 years, so he didn't have his stamina 100%. But his timing was spot on, man.
And Martirosyan's a gym rat.
Golovkin went in there with the attitude. I totally agree, Three-Piece. Golovkin went in the attitude, well, I'm not going to let the judges take away my destiny. I'm just going to I'm going to bomb this guy out of here. And I think probably the best thing that ever happened to him was him getting robbed by Canelo, because we're going to see a Golovkin that's going to take it to the
next level.
Take it to the trenches, yeah. But,
and that's why I think he's not going to fight. That's why I think Canelo's going to back out of September 15th. I just have a gut feeling he's going to back out. He's going to try to wait him out, try to get him another year older. But I don't know. I just have a feeling because I think Canelo knows. You know, he knows he lost that first fight.
Yeah,
he's tasted his power. He doesn't. I mean, the way that kid turns. I say it all the time. You know, every single time I watch Triple G fight, it almost brings a tear to my eye because I think of my granddad. I'm like, fucking that old mean prick. He would just be fucking. Yeah, look at him. You know, the way he turns his punches over, and that's, you know what I mean. That final combination, the accuracy. Are you kidding me? Boom, boom. Every shot was on the button.
Like, there's a picture going around trying to compare Wilder's swings to Golovkin's, but Golovkin. When you watch Golovkin's, there's no momentum in them. It's just body movement, and it's like it's the movement in the body and the turning of the fist that brings the power. Wilder is swinging from his hips, from his feet, bringing the punch over like a fucking windmill.
That's why he breaks his hand. Yep, that's why he breaks his hand all the time. He hammer punches. He always hammer punches. He comes down at the side of his hand. Listen, you guys follow baseball at all? Well, it's probably a dead sport now, but back in the day, right, there was this kid, Ken Griffey Jr. He was a fucking tiny dude comparatively, like built-wise. You look at a lot of home run hitters outside of the steroid, but like Ken Griffey Jr., even Tiger Woods, the reason why they can smash the ball a country mile is it's all in the hips, man. It's all in the fucking delivery, like you said. It's all in the body, and so there's no wasted movement. He's turning his fucking punches over, and he keeps them tight. He throws them. He doesn't bring his elbows. He doesn't until he's squared up, and that's when his elbows leave his body. Everything he does right. You can tell it's just repetitive. He's been doing it for years.
Can I say something?
Sure
just to add something to Jimmy's statement. I've never seen a fighter who is so efficient at shifting his weight, and I'm not talking about like shifting like the feet movement when you cross your feet, right? Like the weight shifting, the way the Golovkin shifts his rear portion of his hip to the front. It's not wild, it's not exaggerated, but you can see it if you. It's so efficient.
Excellent point.
Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
Just one point. And I've seen one more thing. A lot of fighters, even the championship level fighters, when they're about to throw a punch, they do a millisecond pause, and Golovkin does not do that. He's seamless in his offense, and that's a really deadly thing.
Yeah,
Excellent point,
that final sequence where he finished Vanes, that was very much Lomachenko. Now, before you jump down my fucking throat, like you were saying, Pavel, when Golovkin does it, it's minimal. But if you just look at his feet when he was doing that, not only did he
Yeah,
shift stances, I believe twice, he was also stepping off. When he was tapping him with that jab, he was setting up the right hand by stepping over at the same time, stepping over to his left, and then dropped the right hand. And then as he was dropping the right hand, he stepped again to his right, tapped him a little bit with the left. Like Lomachenko does it in a very exaggerated fashion. He's all the way the fuck around you. Triple G does the same thing, except he takes baby steps and he steps off the line just so where he could still deliver his shots with power.
exactly. Yeah,
Hey,
and
I'll,
that
hey,
and that s- s- sorry, Stu. And that type of footwork, that minimal taking the inches with your feet, it's what brings up to your opponent the most in professional ranks, right? And yeah, that's basically
Well,
what I was about to say.
let me just ask you guys something, and I know it's going to sound goofy and a sport. Be like, it's a gay sport or whatever. But I'll tell you right now, if you guys ever go to I think it's IFUUB, but it's the Professional World Championships of Fencing, World Fencing, right? You want to see footwork? If you actually look at it, if you just go to a video on YouTube and check like the world level fucking fences, they just keep that hand out, and it's all bottom legs. It's darting in and out with their bottom legs, and they keep them like boxers. You want them shoulder width. You don't want your outside of your feet. I mean, the inside of your feet on the outside of your shoulders. Then you get your fucking stance usually most too wide. Now you're taking away from your power. That's why even if in a batter they have a wide stance, but as the pitch is coming in, they bring that lead foot back, bring it to their knees, and they twist into it. But as a boxer, you want to keep your feet pretty much in line with your shoulders. And he does that. He parries. And if you watch his feet, his right foot never has to catch up to his left foot or vice versa. He's boom, boom, boom. Pacquiao is
Yeah.
excellent at that too. You know what I mean? Like there's no wasted movement. I'm impressed with the guy. I mean, fuck. You know what I mean? I'm 15 years older than
It's
him, and I'm fucking
interesting.
with him.
It's interesting you bring up fencing because back in I want to say late 1800s there was a French fencer who went over to Russia to train boxers and he brought his fencing background, and in my opinion that's where that reliance on the jab and the control with the lead hand comes from in the Soviet style. The when you look at Klitschko, Golovkin,
Yeah. Most
Lomachenko,
definitely.
all these guys, the jab not only does it come from fencing, but also a culture of sword fighting. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
No,
it's
you're
interesting that
100% right.
you bring that up because there's a direct link between fencing and boxing when it comes
Yeah,
to the Soviet school.
and
Ready?
one thing I'd like to say about Lomachenko and Golovkin, the most apparent common thing that I was managed to observe in those fighters is that they seem to me like they are mindful every second of the fight to keep their upper body between their legs, no matter what they do. If the head movement, if it's the whatever offensive or defensive action, they always keep that balance. And I mean that's very underappreciated thing, and
And
it
it's
comes from fencing.
absolutely,
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
100% right. See, that's why, what's so fucked up? This is why you guys are excellent. I try to say that to some meatheads, guys who, oh, what the fuck, man, fencing, really? Ah, that's awesome.
Gay.
Fucking nice.
That's gay.
Nice. Yeah, what are you talking about fencing? I'm like, no, you don't
And
understand.
I
It's the
wanna I
feet
wanna
work.
add something about the so-called wild swings from Golovkin. What he does, I'm not saying he throws those punches not to hit you, but what those punches are designed to do, first and foremost, is direct you into the center to line you up for the straight punches. That's why when you
Yeah.
notice a lot of the times when he throws the swings, they're telegraphed and they're slow. Why? Because he wants you to be in the center and he wants you ducking. Minutes before he landed that uppercut, he was throwing slow swings at Vanes, and Vanes was ducking down. So next time he showed him the left hand, Vanes ducked down and he brought up that uppercut, and that was all
That's
she wrote. So
Varney,
there's a reason why he does that. Wilder just swings for the fences. Period.
and
Golovkin,
Yeah.
everything's calculated.
and
exactly.
good trainers will tell you all the time, don't let them lead you. You're letting them lead you. And that's what it is. You're letting them lead you around the ring. They're doing things to make you go where they want. You know what I mean? That's why you got to get off first and all that other stuff. And yeah, no, Golovkin, he cuts off the ring as good as anybody. And I'll tell you right now, the way he looks through looks through his eyelids, keeps that chin ducked. And people, oh, he took that shot. If you look where he takes him, he's got high cheekbones. He's got thick fucking skin, right? I don't know if that's from the Korean descent or whatever, but the high cheekbones. He doesn't cut easy, and he keeps his chin tucked. You can take shots. Most people, if you can take a shot, can take the shot around your eyes and your forehead all day. And on top of that, if you can bring your head down even a little bit more, they run a risk of breaking your hand on the top of your head. You never see him with his head back. It's just the little things. I'm so impressed with that fucking kid,
Golovkin has got one of the best chins I've ever seen in boxing.
Crazy chin.
This guy puts his hands down, let people hit him clean on the chin, and he sits there smiling with blood coming from his nose.
But people say that was only Brooke. And it's like, let fucking Brooke punch you in the face, dude. You'd be picking your teeth up with broken fingers.
Danny Jacobs was hitting him clean, and he was still walking through him. When it comes to boxing, when you're talking about the fencing, I think gymnastics is the way forward for boxers to get in front, just for the balance,
absolutely,
the strength of the and hold on, bro, and getting used to, when being dizzy. Getting your balance when you're dizzy. When gymnastics are spinning in the air, they don't know what's going on. They get used to just seeing a fucking spinning version, and they land on their feet. But that will help with boxing when you get hurt as well. So I think gymnastics is a very good way forward. It's just a very difficult technique to learn. But I heard Lomachenko has got a bit of a Ukrainian gymnastic background as well. So that's what I just said.
Well, apology. Yeah, apology. Go ahead.
You guys talking about the fencing thing earlier. If you guys watch fencing, what they will do is, this is GG does all the time. They'll fight one pace, to go fast, and then they'll slow it down so that the opponent will miss time the block, and then they'll score a point. And that's what Triple G does. He'll go fast, and then as you're blocking the shot, he will go slightly slower, so you block it too early, and then he will catch you with a shot.
They're called throwaway. They're called throwaway punches, where you throw away a shot to land the next one coming in, sort of thing. Yep. That's what that's.
Yeah, and can I say something? One thing that I've noticed about two fighters, Gennady Golovkin and Ricardo El Finito Lopez, is that when in terms of their chin strength, their biggest asset in that. The biggest contribution would be, the anticipation of the punches, the anticipation of the rhythm and all that. But it comes from experience. But one unique thing they did was in between the combinations, when they knew the punch was coming, they braced their whole upper back and neck to take the punch.
Right.
Well, let me say this, since we're talking about different techniques or boxing technique. And by the way, we have to go soon, so we only have a couple of minutes left. But real quick, Lomachenko, I was watching Joe Rogan, and he was talking about, they were showing a clip of Lomachenko when he was younger, when he was a kid. And I think he was in some sort of sambo competition, or I don't know if it was judo or sambo, but he was grappling. I'm thinking, man, this guy did it all before boxing. I mean, dancing, sambo, stomping grapes. I mean, is that? Do you guys think it's beneficial to try other types of stuff that involve footwork in order to make it into boxing?
I think it's more than beneficial. I think it's almost a must nowadays.
Yeah.
Cross training, absolutely a must. You have to have them. I would get them into dance, gymnastics, like Stu said, for balance. It's nothing better.
Even yoga is good for boxers.
Of course, it is. Keeps your muscles lean. Keeps you stretched out.
Basketball is good for
excellent training for basketball. Excellent. Yeah. The footwork alone. Yeah, it's not a better sport, but
That's why.
Hey, Bucho, did you ask me something about Dana White on the text you sent?
Yeah, because we were talking about Dana White and
okay. I didn't know
getting into boxing. But I don't know if we have enough time now. But maybe next time, man.
Yeah, no problem. I could tell you some shit about that fucking weasel, man. Dude, he's just no good, man. Straight up, he's no good. I'm not just telling you that because, put it this way: if you met me, right, you were hanging out, and I left the room, and my mother came in and sat down with you and looked you in the eyes and said, "Honey, listen, Jimmy's a fucking total piece of shit. The only reason why he has ring girls, those UFC girls, say I ran the UFC, he fucks every one of them." This is what his mother. This is what his mother said in an interview. Do you know what Dana White did to his own grandmother? Per his mother now.
He fucked her.
His grandmother was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
Was fucking. He found out. Dana calls it. I'm going to send my plane. We're sending you out to Mount Sinai. The best of everything. Granny packs her bags, and died waiting for him to call her back.
Whoa.
Wrap your head around that, guys.
Wow.
Seriously, wrap your head around that.
That's
tells you
man.
what kind of human being this guy is.
But hold on, are you saying is that alleged? Is that alleged or is that a fact?
This is from his mother's mouth. I mean, unless his mother's lying. You know what I mean? There's an interview. Look, punching fucking after you get off, punching Dana White's mom, and she eviscerates him. Absolutely. She said the money made him ugly. I saw it firsthand back in the early 90s when he was selling gym memberships at South Boston Goals, selling fake steroids, getting people sick. That's the reason why he had to run out of Boston. I know he likes to tell the story of fucking Whitey Bulger ran him out. That's the biggest crock of shit going. Kevin Weeks told me to my face, dude, he's Dana Whitey's the fuck. You know what I mean? Whitey's making $500,000 a week just on drugs alone. You think he's going to go shake down a fucking YMCA boys club boxing match? Because that's what he was, fucking promoting back then. It's just so ridiculous.
Hey,
he was selling bogus steroids and he got people sick.
Apparently his mother wrote a book about it.
He just become I saw when I saw him making the money with the steroids, at first he had a good connection, and then he burned his steroid connection. This kid, Joey Freitas, I think Joey's dead. I'll say his name. Joey Freitas from Wall. He was buying everybody got. This kid was originally from South America, so he had a crazy connection. Good kid. He burnt Dana White burnt him for tons of money, so he lost his connection. So what I guess he did was he ordered a bunch of fake bottles and just printed up the labels, and he filled it with peanut butter oil or peanut oil. So this dude's shooting that shit. And that isn't made in a clean room. That peanut oil is dust, there's fibers, there's all kinds of microscopic, shit in there. And this one kid, Ross Shea from Westford, ended up getting a hematoma. He lost half his thigh because it became so infected. He bought. So that tells you the time. And he knew this going in. He was told, man, this was going to get motherfuckers sick. And he sold that. That to me, I don't care. You want to be a criminal? Fine. Society needs criminals. We need the good people need someone to point the fingers at. But there's even codes of conduct amongst criminals. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you're a child molester, you're a fucking piece of shit. You rape women, you're a piece of shit. You sell shit that can kill people knowingly, you're a piece of shit. Fuck.
Let me ask you.
He's a rat.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more next time. I hope you can come in next time as well.
He's a Dana White.
What's that, brother?
Stu, what'd you say?
Stu, what?
Yeah, you broke up there, Stu.
I was just going to say, sorry, BDA. I was just going to say, the thing with Dana White, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
You're breaking up a little bit, but go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, bro. I was just saying, the thing with Dana White, right, as much as he's a piece of shit, he is. Jimmy's right. But the guy has done a fantastic job with the UFC. The UFC was a fucking failure. It was making no money. It was a joke. And this guy turned it around and made it a multi-billion-pound business. So you have to give him credit for that. But
absolutely.
I don't like the way he gets in fighters. He offers fighters out and shit. He sits there and offers fighters out. He was talking about fighting Tito Ortiz. I think Tito Ortiz is a fucking wanker. I don't like the guy at all. But he would bash Dana White all over the place, mate. Let's be real.
He saw the writing on the wall.
Too big for his boots.
He saw the writing on the wall. He took that as far as it was going to go. There was starting to be way too much problems. The fighters were talking about unionizing because he was fucking everybody, and everybody knew it. So he knew it was ready to tip. That's why he sold it. He started telling all his fighters, there's a big influx of money coming in with selling. Everybody knew about it. So that's how he was able to keep it going for another couple of years. We're fucking everybody. Now it's a disaster over there. The numbers are down. He was smart. They got out at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, they did. Well, it's in the transitional period, so it has potential to come back. It just depends on how they promote it.
Absolutely.
They got to pay the guys.
And by the way, Jimmy, you said that
Yes.
he fucks the ring card girls. So just clarify for me: are you
no,
giving him
sorry.
props for that, or?
This is what his mom said. She said she made a comment along the lines, "I think you think those ring girls get their jobs, or he's slept with every ring girl they have." She straight up said in the interview. I mean, I watched that thing with my fucking chin on my chest, thinking, "My God, man, that's horrible." You know, Mom. But yeah, so yeah, he's
Fair play to Dana White, mate.
Yeah,
I would as well, mate. I
that's
would
what
as
I'm
well.
getting.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'd be fucking shitting me.
I see
hey,
that interview.
I was listening to your show.
Talking about.
Can I just
see
get
the-
one thing in, guys? Listen, I was listening to a show the other day where you guys talking. Guys were talking about eating ass or something. And one of the shows last week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my name in the ring, dude. I eat ass.
There you go.
There you
Get
go.
him off. Get him off.
I eat ass. You can't. Because I'll tell you. Hey, listen. I'll tell you what. Hey,
Jimmy.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You meet a girl. You meet a guy, right? You meet a guy who doesn't eat ass, and you're gonna meet a woman who's ready to leave that man. Because the man who comes along and eats her ass.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Yeah.
I lost my respect for you.
I take back everything that I said about you, Jimmy.
Listen, Jimmy.
I mean, listen. I'm not.
I gain more respect
From Jimmy Conlon.
But I like Dana White more than you now.
I'm not talking about grabbing some fucking toothless fucking Hep C having
Jimmy,
crack
you've
on the
got-
It
street.
doesn't matter. It's still disgusting.
Just
Jimmy,
busting your balls,
Jimmy,
man.
I
Just
gave-
busting your balls.
Yeah, it is.
Jimmy, I gain more respect for you, Jimmy.
Thanks, brother.
Listen, in my eyes,
My girl's already giving me the thumbs up.
Jimmy, Jimmy's gone from Jimmy Conlon to Jimmy Carter.
Sounds like you gotta go, bro.
You've gone from Jimmy Conlon. You've gone from Jimmy Conlon to Jimmy Carter. Honestly, bro, I don't know what happened to you, bro. Don't know what happened to you.
Oh,
Get down on your knees so Sabrina can see your asshole. Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
Listen, I don't want to
The
talk.
chick's gotta be hot too, man. I'm not fucking sticking my tongue down some fatty or something like that. You know what I mean?
that's more disgusting. The hot chicks are more disgusting.
You know, I took a psychological test once, and they asked you the question, like, would you eat a girl's ass if on the night you met her? And apparently, if you answer yes, that makes you an adventurous person, and if you say no, that means you're a prude. So just make of that what you will, but that's what the psychological test said.
Well, tits are for kids, man. I'm about the pooper, not about the ass.
That's right. There you go. Endorsing. Jimmy's endorsing the ass eating.
Rum to hygiene. Basic hygiene.
Someone did human race. Yeah, someone did the human race a favour and just fucking drop a new muscle. We deserve to be nuked. A lot of us.
I disagree. I think we're educating.
Behavior.
I disagree, man. I think we're educating people.
Yeah, degenerates, sponsored degenerates.
What do you mean? We're educating people.
Don't knock it till you try it. I'm the cleanest man in the world.
Exactly.
I take showers while I'm doing the show, so that tells you how clean I am.
Listen, we're educating people, man. That's what we're doing in this show. We educate people about boxing and everything.
Listen.
Recognize he's in the shower, don't you?
Hey, and before you hang up, right? And before you guys hang up, right? Fucking know this. If you eat a girl's fucking kunyani, I'm telling you right now, you're eating ass. Because if you don't think that thing's down there stewing all day in them panties, juices aren't flowing. You know what I mean? It's a fucking quarter inch away. You don't think you're getting cross fucking, you know?
Hey, Jimmy.
Listen,
Hey, Jimmy, I got your back, man.
Oh yeah, we got John Gonzalez on the line.
John Gonzalez, man.
Yeah, I got
The legendary John Gonzalez.
Kebabs look more tastier than black.
Thank you.
John Gonzalez is on the wild side, if you understand. He takes it to the extreme.
Listen, I was actually, you know what I was too? You know what I was listening to? I was at a fucking wake. I was at a wake, and I got my head down in my lap, and I got headphone on, right, the wireless, and I'm fucking cracking up. And I think people thought I was crying. I was listening to you guys. I was fucking giggling like a schoolgirl at a funeral at a wake. It was terrible.
John Gonzalez is a human toilet, isn't he?
Yep.
He is. It's the next level.
Yeah, when John tells his girl, when John's girlfriend has to go to the bathroom, John says, "Well, why? I'm right here. You don't got to go to the fucking toilet."
Isn't that the Germans? Aren't the Germans known for those shit movies? Those
Oh, yeah.
fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
shit,
my
man.
god, that's some fucking
Jimmy,
bizarre shit. You.
Jimmy, I watched one, bro. Did you hear the show the other day? I was telling a story about why I watched one. This German guy is sitting there and he's banging this bird. Next minute, she squats over him and starts shitting on him, and he's sitting there going, "Oh, that is good. That is good."
That accent.
Oh my god, that's fucking
Gotta
twisted,
go.
man.
Good
That's
night, guys.
Buzz,
twisted.
you would have faked.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that note, we end this. I see Precise already dropped off as well. I think that's where he hit the line. But listen, guys, we do have to go. I want to thank everybody that joined the show. I thought I forgot somebody, but yeah, I want to thank Stu Little. I want to thank Recognize. Check out his channel on YouTube. We're going to put the link in the description. I want to thank Pavel, John Gonzalez,
Peace,
who just
brother.
showed up. Apology. I want to thank Jimmy from Jimmy's Corner. Jimmy, come back again anytime, man. And try to make it
Yeah,
earlier.
just hang out, guys. Can you send me the hangout like you did that message? That was awesome. You know what I mean? That's how I found out. That's great.
All right.
Thanks,
friends,
guys.
yeah.
I appreciate it. You have a great night.
You too, man. Thanks for being
All right,
on,
Jimmy.
man. Hope you
Thanks,
come in
see ya.
earlier. Don't forget Apology Man's YouTube channel as well. He has a YouTube channel, and that's about it, man. Thanks everybody in there, and I want to thank now everybody in the chat room. So if you guys in the hangout want to leave, you're more than welcome to do so.
I just want to send a message to Boxing Style. If he's in jail for that break-in last night, I'll bet him.
Yeah, where was he? He missed the show today. Anyway, shout out to Boxing Style as well. I hope he's not in jail, by the way. And
Okay, I was about to bail him out. That makes me a good man.
well, yeah, there you go. I hope he's not in jail. But you know, these Armenians, I don't know how they do it over there in LA. But yeah, give a shout out to Fam Oli, Graphic Broad, John Gonzalez, Ash Fiend, Vatakanka, Sir Cryptimus Prime.